Rin, adrenaline goal versus Nigeria. This is cool. This was awesome, this moment. Some panel as well. So I'm drawing the one where he's kind of vertical on his back. So, and the ball is kind of here. And he's got those sort of beast mode eyes. And we'll give this our best shot. So I'll have to zoom in up here because Rin's head is quite small. And I'll zoom into Sagi's head as well. So, let's try. So his fringe kind of covers most of his eyes, right? But we'll see, we'll do this. So we'll go, this might be a hairline as well. We'll just curve this over down the back, right? And they do, in Blue Lock, they always give him the spike, you know. Very thick eyelid lines. And of course, Rin has those eyelashes. Kind of go up into there. And you might see some of his eyelid or something in there. So I know the eyelashes, when we're real close up, are long, but I think we'll just do a couple of spikes, like that. Right, and then, so he's looking down at the ball down this way. So I'll draw a circle. You could do the dashes the way they do it in the manga if you wanted to do it more like that, but we'll just draw a circle coming, looking down that way. And then he has that like thin cat-like eye just in there. And then we'll do, it's like Sauron's, like, you know, eye. It's got some like dashes and stuff coming around. It's like a cat-like thing. So his other eye is behind his hair. So we've got like a hairline that just cuts right across this eye, right? So it's like a hair spike. You know, and another spike in there, and then down just onto his cheek. Okay. And then we can just see his eyelid line and a bit of his eyebrow, I think just the back of his eyebrow just there. So this hair spike goes real long. I think it goes off his face even. So we'll go to about there and then we'll go back up. Right, so his eye is like just in this gap, just here, right? So it goes like up, across again. More hair covers the back of it, but say where the spike would be, I'd say here. And then down and in. And then some eyelash lines just coming off there. And then that dark cat-like eye just looking down and to the right again. And then the thin beast mode iris line. And then we'll do do some of those dashes. Right, and then more of his fringe cuts across his forehead here, and this eye. Sort of eye sort of area there. And all it kind of disappears into the spikes down here. But I imagine it's kind of like this somewhere. And then, so it's like his nose line kind of like joins his eyebrow or something in here. Maybe an eyelid line. And then we can see, just like, imagine the nose continues underneath the hair, and then it like sticks out and down here. And then just a bit of a nostril. There somewhere. Right, so he's gritting his teeth, so his mouth is kind of open, so they do this sort of a shape. So start there just underneath, that's the edge of his mouth, and then it goes up and over. And then she goes down, around, and then back over the other side. You can just see like his cheek sort of in there. There's a bit of a shadow on this side. And then the teeth kind of come across then. Like that. And they give him gum lines as well. Like little shadows just at the top of the teeth. Little spikes. Do do do. Right, so his chin here. And it goes this way. Kind of like curves up. There. And then the other side, curving down around his cheek, and down then into his chin. That kind of a shape. Right, so then more hair, so like more hair spikes going this way. We can just see a bit of his ear hanging down here. And some ear lines inside. And then his hair hanging down behind his neck, right? So his neck is here. And then we start getting all these hair spikes then going around the head. I'm starting to go this way now. Loads of just long sort of hair spikes. His ear just in there. And he's got like some beads of sweat on his face, and just like going this direction. Right, and then his neck coming down this way. His neck muscles there. Right, and that's basically the head. Tricky enough. Okay, so the collar of his jersey, just here, goes behind the ball. So the ball is like just at his arm here. So say like it stops roughly there. So you'll have a big circle here, but we get the rest of his anatomy in first. So we'll grow the collar out here. Then so the shoulder and chest, so like his shoulder and his arms hang down behind his body, right? So this is like his shoulder, and then the chest is like here, and this comes out to his sort of stomach, going that way out towards a knee. So let's see, so for like, so his sleeve, so like the bottom of the shoulder, I'd say, so like shoulder curves around here, right? And the shoulder goes underneath, and the sleeve and stuff. And this is all black lines and stuff for the jersey. So there's all dark black areas, right? And a black line that curves around and goes underneath his armpit. And then this goes to the front, crossing up, and then down this way. So it's like on top of his shoulder as well, that line. And then I think there's one that goes behind the chest here as well, like down there. So his back, so he's like leaning back, right? So I think his back is about there. And then this will go that way, bump out a bit. So that's like the body direction. Then we hit knees and legs and everything. So his jersey seems to be like floating up here a bit, I think. So it's like up over his stomach a little bit. You have some like fold lines and things just coming across the jersey as well. Then we can see the top of his black shorts just here, and this comes to his wound up shooting leg, right? So that goes out real long. But then we can see his like, under shirts there. Okay. So we get this knee in, and then this knee, and then maybe the ball. We'll do a saggy last. So we'll go this way, right? And the shorts just kind of stick out that way. And it's all black, right? So there's no fold lines like on his shorts, but we'll maybe add some. This is like the center line. Because his other thigh is going this way, right? So we have to sort of draw in a black line a bit for that. And then, say this knee comes around and we can't, so it's all dark and stuff, but like, that's sort of like how his knee should be. And then this is his wound up foot in behind his calf back this way, about to, in behind his thigh, sorry, about to like strike. And then his sock, I think, is like maybe just here. So the other knee then. His calf goes down this way off the page. A few more room you can try and fit in that boot, but I think it's probably just easier to cut it off here. So I think that's his shorts there, I think. Again, it's all just kind of dark in there, so not clear. I think he has a black line that runs down the side of his body there. And then he's got the number 10. Japanese flag just up here. And I'm going to add, this is probably the blue lock crest or something. Okay. So the ball, right? So a big circle. So if you have a plate or a cup or a stencil or something that was big enough to draw your ball, feel free to use that. If not, just go for like mark it out sort of lightly at first. Try and sketch a circle. So like just around there. well, it's kind of spinning and has energy and stuff, so we don't need to worry too much about everything being perfect. I'll just finish his sleeve. I think it just disappears behind the ball then. I'll try and tidy up this edge a bit. Right, and then we have those football shapes. Now it's kind of tricky to do those stitching pieces, so take your time. It's kind of interlock shapes. And if you want to do the blue lock symbols inside, you can as well. But I'll keep it simple for you, and we'll just do the normal sort of way. So like, you first have the 6-sided shape. So 1, 2, 3. And these are like mirror images. So it's the same on the bottom as it is on the top. The other one's different now. The 5-sided shape. So say you have 1 in the middle, and then there's like 2 out here, and 1 down there. So like this one goes from the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this makes the 6th, And because the ball is circular as well, it kind of looks a bit thinner than the other one. You just do it again. These are kind of like eyes and a nose. And then he has a mouth kind of down here. Another shape for the football. Now, so it's the shapes in here that are different, right? So you have 1, 2, 3 sides, and then just 2 more. So 1, 2. See, so that's a different shape to that. And then 1, 2. So that's like the one that has the blue lock symbol inside. Or you could just do it black, which I find just more straightforward. Drawing a football is hard enough as it is. Right, and then up here. But of course, anyone who wants to do the blue lock line, there's nothing stopping you just adding that in. More here, and the ones like on the very edge are like super thin, right? You can barely see them, because the ball is rotating around the other side. Like that. Right, so we got our boy Saggy down here looking like, what? How is he doing this? He's on my back. So his eye just beside his sock, right? So we'll go diagonal. He's kind of looking up in disbelief. So it's a very thick top eyelid line with that spike that they usually do coming down here. It's not a great amount of detail in his eyes now. And just a circular iris line looking up, sort of there. And then his nose just sticking out here. And a nostril then. Every side of his face just comes down this way. And then around for his chin. And then his mouth just in this space. So just a downturned kind of lip line at first, but then we'll open it up, so we'll add some teeth. He's gritting his teeth kind of like Rin is up there. Just a skinnier sort of shape, that's all. And then his jaw just joins the chin then. It's going down that way. And he has all beads of sweat and stuff on his face as well. So he thought it was his goal. And we can just see a little bit of his ear, just there. And then his like ear lines, and I think they have that microphone thing still in the ear. I'm not sure though. There's like a dark circle there. Right, and then it's all about the hair. So spiking. Cross. You might see a bit of his eye underneath that, but not a lot. It's like maybe some of his cheek or something just here. Now. And then more sort of hair spikes and stuff, just all going this way. Just going around the head. And Rin is on his back, so that, like he's sitting on his neck basically, so the hair just goes all in behind this way. And then Isagi's neck muscles. And then his collar and shoulder goes down that way. There's like a line on his back here, and then the back comes out from here, I think. What's Isagi? Is Isagi 11? So there's like a 1 here, I think. can just see that anyway. Right, and then of course energy and stuff that you want to do all in the air around. You can go with the monster stuff that comes out of him in his, when he's in his flow mode. As much of that as you'd like now. But there you go. Very, very cool goal versus Nigeria. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.